Hey guys, what I'm about to show you is absolutely unbelievable. And if the Lord has not given you eyes to see, then you won't believe it. But this video is for those with eyes to see and ears to hear. After last night's Bible study, I was led to do a segment on the new Pope, and as I do, decoding everything about the Pope and using the enemy's weapon, the numbers, to tell us the truth. And in all my years of making these videos and doing the numbers on this wickedness, I have never seen numbers like these. This video is absolutely mind-blowing. It was done in a live show, so there may be pauses in between me talking, so just bear with me. But this video has information in it that you do not want to miss out on. So I highly suggest you watch this entire video because you will not be able to unsee what I'm about to show you. If you don't believe in the numbers being the weapon of the enemy, you will after this video. The Lord is clearly warning us, and so it is up to us to heed that warning. So watch this video to the end. Share it far and wide, and let people know what's going on here. I guarantee you have not seen a video about the Pope like this, nor will you, except here on this channel. I have put the text file links that I show you that all the numbers are on. I have uploaded them to my personal storage online, and the links are in the description along with the links to all the pages that I use to show you this information. All links will be in the description of this video. Be sober, be vigilant, because your adversary, the devil, as a roaring lion, walketh about, seeking whom he may devour. Having said that, let's waste no more time. Let's get right into this.
I want the truth! You can't handle the truth!
This is a rebellious people, lying children, children that will not hear the law of the Lord, which say to the seers, See not, and to the prophets, Prophesy not unto us right things, speak unto us smooth things, prophesy deceits. For the pastors are become brutish, and have not sought the Lord. Therefore they shall not prosper, and all their flocks shall be scattered. Many pastors have destroyed my vineyard. They have trodden my portion underfoot. They have made my pleasant portion a desolate wilderness. They have made it desolate, and being desolate it mourneth unto me. The wind shall eat up all thy pastors, and thy lovers shall go into captivity. Surely then shalt thou be ashamed and confounded for all thy wickedness. Woe be unto the pastors that destroy and scatter the sheep of my pasture, saith the Lord. Therefore thus saith the Lord God of Israel against the pastors that feed my people. Ye have scattered my flock and driven them away, and have not visited them. Behold, I will visit upon you the evil of your doings, saith the Lord.
I know the truth. There's no going back. You've changed things.
I'm going to try and put it forth in a way where we can go back and forth to the numbers and to the thing. And then I think at the end, I'll just go through all these numbers again, and we will see it as it is. So let me just close this one. So I'm going to have to switch back and forth, obviously. So bear with me, because this stuff is crazy. Now, I have to start with Pope Francis, because for those of you who don't know, okay, Pope Francis made this man the new Pope, Leo the 14th. He made him a cardinal, right? He created a cardinal, which was created by Pope Francis, September 30th of 2023. So it's important to understand that this guy was brought into this scenario where he could become a pope by Pope Francis. Now, let's see here. Check this out. Pope Francis was pope from, oh, you know what? Let me put comments up. There you go. I may have to take them down if you can't see the screen or whatever. Just, I may forget. So if there is a point where you can't see the screen, just, oh, you know what? Well, I'll try to remember. Maybe I should just take them down. Yeah, because people can always put them up later. Um, but I think I have pages where you're going to need to see like over here. So, and I'll take down the live and the image and the live. All right, so now we got a nice clean screen to work on. All right. So the Pope was Pope from the 13th of March till 2013. 13th March 2013 until his death on the 21st of April 2025. All right. So remember, Pope Francis died. Oh, you guys can't see that. All right, hang on. I gotta like make this the right size so we can see it. Just give me 1 sec. All right, that's pretty good. So Pope Francis died at 88, right? So we know that's the portals, right? He served from 2013 to 2025. Okay, keep this in mind. That's 69. 2 plus 1 plus 3 is 6. 2 plus 2 plus 5 is 9. Okay, these numbers are important. He was Pope from 3/13/13 to 4/21/25, which I just showed you. That's 4,423 days. As you can see here, I've put it in the calculator. 3/13/2013, 4/21/2025. You can see here 4423. Okay? Now, 44 is the Antichrist number. Obama, 44th president. It also adds up to 8. 23, as we all know, is Satan. 4423 is 8. 5, which is 58, which we all know is the Antichrist number, the 5th head and the 8th head. Now, Pope, the numbers for Pope are 52. All right, which can be seen as 55 for Satan. That's the numerical value of Satan. Or 322, because 2 and 3 is 5, and 2, 322, skull and bones. Leo is 32, which is 23. There's a lot of meanings to XIV, 14th. Okay, 14, 77, which is 7 times 11, 711, 911. There's also 1.4 billion Catholics. Okay, which I'll show you this stuff. We're going to look at articles and stuff too. I'm just covering a few things right now. XIV is also 55. Okay, the numerical values for X, I, and V add up to 55. So 14 also equals Satan. X is also a symbol for the Antichrist spirit, which we all know. All right. The numerical value for X is 24. That's 888. And we all know what an IV is. I can't elaborate on this because I want to keep this up here, so bear with me. Robert is 78. Okay, that's 15, which is 555666. Francis is 70, which is 3, 2, and 2. Robert Francis is 148, which is 58. His last name Prevost is 55. Satan. He was born September 14th, 1955. 9 and 14 is 23, which is Satan, and 55, which is also Satan. He's 69 years old, okay? Remember, this Pope served from 2013 to 25, which is 69. This is Artemis and Apollo. That's what 6 and 9 is. Okay? He is the 267th Pope. 2 plus 7 is 9. That's 6-9. I hope you guys are seeing what's unfolding here. He was voted in at 6 p.m., and that is Vatican time, which is 1800 hours. 18 is 666. Okay? So let's dive into this a little bit, and then we'll come back to the numbers. So here you have Pope Leo the 14th, which I've just shown you all kinds of numbers on this man. Okay? Let's see. So I have highlighted a few things I want to show you. All right, he was born September 14th, which I showed you. His birthday is completely satanic, at Mercy Hospital in Chicago. Okay, I pulled up Mercy Hospital just to have a look at it. You know, as I said, I follow the Spirit wherever he leads. Okay, this is a Mercy Hospital. Medical Center is a 414-bed general medical surgical Catholic teaching hospital in Chicago, Illinois. All right? 414. Now I look at this as 44 times 1, 44. That's how I look at it. You can look at it however you like, but I thought that was very interesting. It was established in 1852. Okay? This is 16 total, 88. So it opened up a portal. This hospital was the first chartered hospital in Chicago. In 1859, Mercy Hospital became the first Catholic hospital to affiliate with a medical school. So it opened up a portal. And then in 1859, which is 9 plus 14, which is 23, this hospital became the first Catholic hospital to affiliate with medical school, which is Apollonic and represents Apollo and Hermes. Okay? Spiritual wickedness. And I found this interesting, that in 1863, 3 6s, it moved to 26th Street. So these are just things I find interesting while I'm like skimming around. But that's all I was looking. I didn't look into the hospital too much. Okay. So this guy was born in and is from Chicago, Illinois. Well, guess who else comes out of Chicago, Illinois? Obama. You guys, this is going to get real crazy, so I hope you're ready. So Obama previously served as U.S. Senator representing Illinois from 2005 to 2008 as an Illinois State Senator from 97 to 2004. Born in Honolulu, Hawaii, not true, Obama graduated from Columbia University in 1983 with a Bachelor of Arts degree in political science and later worked as a community organizer in Chicago. In 1988, Obama enrolled in Harvard Law School, where he was the first black president of the Harvard Law Review. He became a civil rights attorney and an academic teaching constitutional law at the University of Chicago Law School from 1992 to 2004. In 1996, Obama was elected to represent the 13th district in the Illinois Senate, a position he held till 24. Remember, 13 is 5 plus 8, 58. And he was elected to that in 666. All right, so the Antichrist comes out of Chicago. Well, so does this guy. And in case you didn't notice, his middle name is Francis, who is the Pope he succeeded. Now, we're going to get into his little coat of arms and his motto in a little bit. But first, we're going to dive into this article right here. Who is Pope Leo the 14th? Here's what to know about the first American Pope. Think about this, you guys. America is Mystery Babylon. Now, I'm sure you guys, I myself was thinking that Francis was the false prophet, but you know what? The world tried to make him look like the false prophet, so I should have known better. Okay? He was doing things the false prophet is said to do. He was the first Jesuit pope. The world was really making it look at him, right? So I probably should have read into that a little better, but whatever, it is what it is. Look at this. If you listen to this article, it's 8 minutes and 11 seconds. 88. These little things matter. So both the Pope, this Pope, and the Antichrist not only come out of Mystery Babylon, but they both hail from Chicago. Okay? That's crazy. That's absolutely crazy. Now, as I told you, Pope Leo the 14th, there's also 1.4 billion Roman Catholics. 14. Now, I highlighted certain things. Robert Francis Prevost, 69, was born in Chicago. Despite his American roots, so he's rooted in America. I just find the way they word these things very interesting. So his roots are held in Mystery Babylon. And now he is this Pope, this figure. Look at these people. If you see the live, all you got to do is type in live video of people's reaction to the new Pope. Dude, women are crying and jumping up and down and freaking out. And this is spiritual possession. 150,000%. All right? Says a Vatican spokesman said Cardinal Robert Francis Prevost's choice to be called Pope Leo the 14th was a clear and deliberate reference to the last Leo, who led during a difficult time for the Roman Catholic Church and helped marshal it into the modern world. Okay, now I highlighted this because I'm going to be touching base on some of these things, and I want you to remember this. Okay, he named his reference to Leo, who led during difficult time and he was leading the Roman Catholic Church and helped it marshal it into the modern world, into the new world order. Okay, just keep these things in mind. I'll bring them back up later too, don't worry. I won't let you forget. So I don't think, now check this out. The future Pope Leo the 14th, Robert Prevost, in second grade, standing fourth from the left in the class photo from 1962. So he's right here. Now, look at what this says. St. Mary's, right? Might as well say Lucifer's School. Class 22, 2B, 22, which is Lucifer's number V. November 11, 1 and 1. 12th, 1 and 2 is 3. 23. In 1962, 2 6s. You get it? This right here. Wickedness. This stuff is crazy. When a pope dies, this is talking about the conclave. Wait till we get into that. You guys are going to be beside yourselves. When a pope dies, more unusually steps down, the college chooses an successor. The cardinals cast repeated votes until there's a 2/3 majority. 23. What's so special about 2/3? Well, 2 divided by 3 is 0.66666666666, okay? Not only that, but 2/3 is 66.6. Okay, a third is 33.3. 2/3, 66.6. 666 majority. 23. Okay, I hope you're finding this stuff as insanely crazy as I am. All right, so that's what I got on this page. Now, let's go back to I got to pull up the notepad again. All right, so here's what I want you guys to get. On Thursday, which was 5/8/25, okay, 58, the day of the Antichrist spirit, 58, which is Thursday, which is also Thor's day, which is Horus. Okay, I'm going to get into Osiris and Horus in a little bit, but before I do, I have to show you this. Remember, I told you Pope Francis made him a cardinal, which this is the numerical value of cardinal. I was just put it on there for notes. Okay, he made him a cardinal on 9/30/23. That's 3 9s, 999, 666, 23. Okay? This gets really crazy. Watch this. From the date that the Pope made him a cardinal to the date he became Pope, 5/8/25, is 587 days. Let me show you. 9/30/23, 5/8/25. Okay? 9/30/23, 5/8/25, 587 days. Okay? So let's go back to the notepad. Watch. So from the time he was made cardinal, which is the only way you can get a pope, you got to be a cardinal. So Francis made him a cardinal on 9/30/23, and he became pope 5/8/25. That's 587 days. Look at the date he became pope. 5/8/7. Okay? 25 is 7. 2 plus 5 is 7. 5/8/7. Can you believe that? Now, the conclave started on 5/7, which is 57, which is 237, which is 5G. Okay, I hope you guys are with me because this is nuts. All right, so it started on 5/7, which is 237, also known as 5G, the cage of the beast, right? 237, 5/7, 5G. Now, from 5/8, the day that he became Pope, to the end of the year is 237 days left. Okay? So we went from 237, from 5/7, 5G, the date, the day before, which is when the conclave started, in the cage of the beast. Okay? And then the next day, on the spirit rising of the spirit of Antichrist, he was voted Pope. And from that day to the end of the year is 237 days. If that's not crazy enough, it's also 7 months and 23 days. Here you have 5/8/25 to the end of the year, 12/31/25. 237 days, or 7 months and 23 days. 237, 237. That is absolutely crazy. In all my days of doing numbers, I have never seen anything like this. A double registry. All right. Now, on 5/8/2025, the same day, Trump declares 58, the rise of the Antichrist spirit. He declares that Victory Day for the 80-year anniversary of World War II. Now we're going to dive into this stuff because now that I've told you these numbers, I'm going to show you the manifestations of what's happening, and we're going to use this number chart as a reference. One thing that's important to understand is that this all represents Egypt's Osiris being resurrected as Horus, reborn, aka the spirit of Babylon. The Antichrist spirit is rising. Okay, this is the resurrection of Osiris. Now, check this out. Before I do that, I just want to show you that, see, Trump declares May 8th as Victory Day. And we'll get back to this in a minute. Well, in a couple minutes, okay? Because it gets really, really crazy. Now, for those of you who have seen my America is Egypt and America, the Dark Truth of America, where I talk about Osiris and Horus and the 13 pieces and the 13 stars and the colonies and all that stuff, like that if you have that knowledge going into what I'm about to show you, this is going to blow your minds, okay? So, on Wednesday, 5G 237, Odin's Day. This is Osiris, Odin, who was resurrected as Thor for Thursday. Okay, so Wednesday, Odin's Day, is when the conclave started. Okay, so the end of the old, bringing in the new. Thursday, Thor's Day, they made him the new pope on 5/8, bringing in the new spirit of Antichrist, resurrecting Odin, Osiris, as Horus, Thor, the spirit of Antichrist. Here is Osiris. He was one of the first to be associated with mummy wrap when his brother Set cut him into pieces after killing him. With her sister Nephthys, Osiris's sister wife, Isis, searched Egypt to find each part of Osiris. She collected all but one, Osiris's genitalia. Then she wrapped up his body, enabling him to return to life. Okay, so for those of you who don't know, Osiris is Odin, is Nimrod. Okay? Horus is Thor, is Tammuz. These are the same gods in different parts of the world being told in different stories, but the story is the same. The father is killed, and the mother brings back the father through the son. This is the demonic version, and this is why they worship Mary, the Catholics, because Mary would be the Isis figure who brought the Lord into the world through her son. Okay? This is what's going on here. Make no mistake. Now, let's continue. Osiris was the judge and lord of the dead and the underworld, the lord of silence. And the Kenti Amentiu, meaning foremost of the Westerners. Huh? Foremost of the rest. Who's the Westerners? Thank you for posting America is Egypt, Ali, because that's exactly what we're talking about here. Who is the Westerners? Why, we are the Westerners. Who is the god of the Westerners? Osiris, who was cut into 13 pieces, the 13 colonies. All but his phallus were found by Isis. The 13 colonies came together as a nation. They were reunited, and the phallus was set up in Washington, D.C. as the Washington Monument in the middle of Maryland and Virginia, the Virgin Mary. Okay? Demonic sex magic. Let's continue. In the Old Kingdom, the pharaoh was considered the son of the sun god Ra, who after his death ascended to join Ra in the sky. After the spread of the Osiris cult, however, the kings of Egypt were associated with Osiris in death. As Osiris rose from the dead, they would unite with him and inherit eternal life through imitative magic. Okay, this is what they're doing in the Catholic Church. They're resurrecting Osiris, who is the king over them. They're resurrecting him as Horus. Now, I don't think I have anything more in this one. All right. This is the Osiris myth, the most elaborate and influential story in ancient Egypt mythology. It concerns the murder of the god Osiris, a primeval king of Egypt, and its consequences. Osiris's murderer, his brother Set, usurps his throne. Meanwhile, Osiris's wife Isis restores her husband's body, allowing him to posthumously conceive their son Horus. The remainder of the story focuses on Horus and the product of the union of Isis and Horus, who is the first vulnerable child protected by his mother, and then becomes Set's rival for the throne. Their often violent conflict ends with Horus's triumph, which restores Ma'at, cosmic and social order, to Egypt and Set's unrighteous reign and completes the process of Osiris's resurrection. So let me open this up because I did not put this, but I will because people need to see this. And since I'm talking about this, we're not going to bother pretending that they're going to tell you the truth, but you've seen this, okay? IHS. They tell you it means in his service. But what you're seeing here is the big O, the sun god Osiris, Isis, Horus, and Set. Okay? They are the demonic resurrection story. And this is who the Catholics worship. Osiris, Isis, Horus, and Set. Make no mistake. Okay? Now, according to the form of the myth reported by Greek author Plutarch, Osiris was slain and drowned by Seth, who tore the corpse into 14 pieces and flung them all over Egypt. Eventually, Isis and her sister Nephthys found and buried all the pieces except the phallus, thereby giving new life to Osiris, who thenceforth remained in the underworld as ruler and judge. His son successfully fought against Seth, avenging Osiris and becoming the new king. So we read more about this in the story of Horus, which this falcon is native to the Americas. And Horus is most notably known as the god of kingship. All right. Apollo, they will have a king over them, the king of the bottomless pit. Okay. He has been named the god of healing. What does Apollo do? He's the bringer of the sickness and the cure. Protection. He's the sun god, and he's the prince of the power of the air. If we scroll down, you can clearly see that the equivalent to Horus in Greek is, in fact, Apollo. This is who they worship. Make no mistake. The pharaoh was associated with many specific deities. He was identified directly with Horus, who represented kingship itself and was seen as a protector of the pharaoh. And he was seen as the son of Ra, who ruled and regulated nature as Pharaoh ruled and regulated society. The pyramid texts describe the nature of the pharaoh in different characters as both Horus and Osiris. The pharaoh of Horus in life became the pharaoh of Osiris in death, where he was united with the other gods. New incarnations of Horus succeeded the deceased pharaoh on earth in the form of new pharaohs. The lineage of Horus, the eventual product of unions, became the children of Atum, may have been a means to explain and justify pharaonic power. The gods produced by Atum were all representative of cosmic and terrestrial forces in Egyptian life. By identifying Horus as the offspring of these forces, then identifying him with Atum himself, and finally identifying the pharaoh with Horus, the pharaoh theologically had dominion over all the world, right? This is why there's pyramids everywhere. Egypt used to be on the entire earth, and it also shows you this in Exodus. In one tale, Horus is born to the goddess Isis after she retrieved all the dismembered body parts of her murdered husband Osiris, except his penis, which was thrown into the Nile and eaten by a catfish, or sometimes depicted as instead by a crab. According to Plutarch's account, used her magic powers to resurrect Osiris and fashion a phallus to conceive her son. Older Egyptian accounts have the penis of Osiris surviving. After becoming pregnant with Horus, Isis fled to the Nile Delta marshland to hide from her brother Set, who jealously killed Osiris and who knew she would want to kill, or he would want to, she knew would want to kill their son. There, Isis bore a divine son, Horus. As birth, death, and rebirth are recurrent themes in Egyptian lore and cosmology, it is not particularly strange that Horus also is the brother of Osiris and Isis by Net and Geb, together with Nephthys and Set. This elder Horus called whatever, yeah, so there we go. And I didn't mean to highlight all this stuff. So here you can clearly see that when the nations broke apart off of when America, the New World Order, the 13 colonies, which were 13 colonies, became a United States through Washington, D.C. by the phallus. So think of this. Osiris, a nation broken up into 13 parts, the 13 colonies, the Betsy Ross flag, the 13 stars, but missing one part, the phallus. So Isis, through magic, fashioned a phallus. This is the Washington Monument, and through Washington, D.C., gave birth to the United States. Horus, the spirit of Antichrist, mystery, Babylon. Yes, Vegas does represent a lot. It's a very wicked place. So here we have Osiris, right? So this is what's going on here. Now, this one took me by surprise, you guys. I stumbled on this. Remember, Trump said, here, let's just open up a window. I'm going to show you why Trump really made 5/8, which we saw right here. On May 8th, 58, Antichrist Day, Donald Trump declared it as Victory Day. Has nothing to do with World War II. Nothing. Okay? Trump highlights investing $500 billion in Stargate. Huh. Interesting. What happens if we type in Osiris and Stargate? We get SG-1. Check this out. Banished to Earth for thousands of years, the Goa'uld. What is that, you say? I don't know. Let's look. The Goa'uld. One of the Milky Way galaxy's most dominant species for thousands of years. The Goa'uld are serpent parasites that forcibly take human hosts and possess a thirst for power and worship. Huh, sounds like the Catholic Church. They have enslaved countless worlds, using their inhabitants as hosts, soldiers, miners, and personal slaves. So they're serpent parasites that forcibly take human hosts and possess a thirst for power and worship. Well, let's continue. Banished to Earth for thousands of years, the Goa'uld Osiris was released by a young archaeologist named Sarah Gardner, who became his new host. He went on to serve a powerful Goa'uld, Anubis. That's the dog-headed god who brings people into the underworld, a former acquaintance of Osiris, who was posed to conquer the galaxy. Osiris' host is also Daniel Jackson's friend and former girlfriend. In Egyptian mythology, Osiris was the first pharaoh of Egypt. His mate and goddess was Isis. Osiris's brother, the enemy of, was Seth, which is just Set, who sealed him in a magic box. Huh. You mean like the wow, I just drew a blank. The Tesseract, right? The cube. He sealed Osiris in a magic box. Now, this is called a stasis jar, and according to the myth, cast him into the Nile River. The Osiris jar was discovered in the 20th century. Check this out. Canopic jars are funerary vessels that were used in ancient Egypt to house embalmed organs were removed during the mummification process. They are also served to store and preserve the viscera of their soul for the afterlife. Okay, so these canopic jars had in them the black goo, the DNA of the ancients. Okay? The fallen, the Nephilim. So just bear with me and understand what they're telling you here, because fiction is truly truer than the truth. The ship carrying Osiris away from Egypt sank and its contents were not salvaged for some 70 years. Now, check this out. Finally arriving in Chicago, the Osiris jar was opened. Are you kidding me? I just showed you how not only Obama's coming out of Chicago, but that's also where the new Pope was born, who is resurrecting Osiris in the form of Horus. This is insane. Eager to make an important archaeology discovery that would distinguish her young career, Osiris took her as his new host and fled Earth in a hidden Goa'uld ship, promising to return one day with a vengeance. Osiris's mate Isis is dead. The Goa'uld symbiote found in the Isis jar did not survive because the jar's seal had been damaged during transport. Osiris' brother Set was killed by Samantha Carter in 1999. Despite their relation, Seth and Osiris were mortal enemies. Once free, Osiris managed to build a relatively strong following in a short period of time, claiming to have taken advantage of favorable conditions within the Goa'uld Empire. Remember, Goa'uld, this is the Catholic Church. The serpent parasites that forcibly take human hosts and possess a thirst for power and worship. All right? So Osiris came out of Chicago and is building a relatively strong following in a short period of time. That's exactly what this new pope has done. They're already worshiping this guy. The first Babylon pope. And he's claiming to have taken advantage of favorable conditions within the Catholic Empire. You might as well just replace this with Catholic. This is crazy, you guys. Absolutely crazy. Now, let's look at Revelation 13. Revelation 13, 11, and 12. And I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth, who had two horns like a lamb, and spake as a dragon. And he exercised all the power of the first beast before him, and causeth the earth and them which dwell therein to worship the first beast, whose deadly wound was healed. All right, I've given many explanations to this, but I'm going to show you another way we can look at this. Is the amazing thing about the Word of God being alive. It says so many things in what it says. Okay, I beheld another beast coming up out of the earth. He had two horns. Horns are representative of authority, like a lamb, right? So he's the representative of the lamb, but he speaks as a dragon. This is a Catholic Pope. Is it this one? I can't guarantee. I thought it might have been the last one. So I'm not going to make the same mistake twice. I'm just going to show you what's here to see. Okay? And he exerciseth all the power of the first beast before him. So we see that he is associated. I can show you by the numbers 58, 44, 23. He's completely associated and receiving power through the Antichrist spirit, right? Which is exactly what it says here. He's exercising all the power of the first beast, which is the Antichrist, but he's coming before him. Okay? So even though this is the Antichrist is the first beast, right? Because he was president, but he hasn't returned yet. So this guy is exercising the power before the Antichrist is revealed before him. See? And what he's doing is he's causing the earth and all them that dwell therein to worship the first beast, the Antichrist, the spirit of Horus, who used to be Osiris, who was killed, but his deadly wound was healed, and he was resurrected as Osiris. You see what I'm showing you? This is absolutely nuts. Okay? This is crazy. Now, let me show you this. It gets a little stranger. The numbers are the craziest. So we'll cover it again real quick at the end because this is crazy. Here is his coat of arms. Okay, now let me see. I gotta go back a little bit because I want to show you what it says. So, all right, so this in illu unum means in the one we are one. Okay, that's a completely satanic Luciferian saying, right? Completely. So that's what this says. In the one we are one. Now, what are we looking at here? Okay. This red rope, this represents the red thread that was around was it Esau's heel? Somebody throw it out there. So what you're seeing is the keys of heaven being bound by the red thread. Okay, which all these Hollywood people, this is what they wear, right? You see it, I'll show you. Does any smell like bracelet? See, they all have this red thread because it's satanic. This is what they do. They all wear this stupid red thread. You'll see it all the time. Of course, they don't want to show you a bunch of people doing it, but you can see that they all have this red. Okay, they all wear this thing. Yeah, Kabbalah. Yeah. It's because it was around the ankle or the wrist of, man. I'm just going to look it up because I don't want to embarrass myself here. Who was born with the red thread. Esau. That's what I thought, but I didn't want to like. I wasn't exactly positive, but you know what I mean. So no, it wasn't. It says right here. Let's see. Where is it? Joshua 2:18. Birth of Perez and Zerah. Okay, the midwife took a piece of red yarn, tied it on his wrist, and said, "This one came out first." So this is what they tie on them. Anyways, revealing this stuff. All right, so this is what this represents. These keys, I have them right here. These represent the keys of heaven. All right. The keys of heaven, or keys of Saint Peter, who is not the Peter of the Bible, are seen as a symbol of papal authority and are seen on the papal coat of arms, those individuals popes, and those of the Holy See and Vatican City State. Behold, he, Peter, received the keys of the kingdom of heaven. He never received the keys of the kingdom of heaven. See, this is a different Peter. The power of binding and loosing is committed to him. It's committed to Christians. The care of the whole church and its government is given to him. And they build all this because Jesus said, "Thou art Peter, and upon this rock I shall build my church." Yeah, we all know that we are all rocks in the church of God. We're all stones. Because that's what the Bible teaches. But the Catholics, they worship a different God. They worship Satan. And so they have their own twisted version of the Bible, which is twisted and contorted. Here you can see again the red ribbon binding the keys of heaven, right? So, where are we here? Let me close this. So, here we have, if you look in the Pope's hat, let me get my marker out here. You have 33. Okay, you see it? 33. This is the fleur-de-lis. But before I get into that, let's talk about this. This is a symbol they use for the Sacred Heart of Jesus. Notice this one is pierced by an arrow. This is Apollonic worship. Notice the worship of Apollo is over the Bible. So they choose Apollo over the word of God. You see what's happening here? This is demonic as all get out of town. Now, this is the fleur-de-lis. Now, check this out. The fleur-de-lis is a common heraldic charge and stylized shape of a lily. Okay? Fleur and lis means flower, lily, respectively. The Virgin Mary and Saint Joseph are among saints often depicted with a lily. Keep that in mind. Mary, lily. Okay, this is what's on this guy's thing. The Egyptian white lotus is a white water lily. So the Egyptian lotus, right? The fleur-de-lis, the white water lily. Okay? The blue lotus was the dominant lotus in Egyptian art. Here we have the coat of arms and the great seal, or whatever they call it. So here we have e pluribus unum, right? And this means, I got them down here, it says out of many, one. Okay? And this says, so remember what that guy's, what his thing said. In the one, we are one. Okay? Out of many, one. Osiris, out of many, the 13 pieces, Osiris, comes one, Horus, the United States. All right, and then this side, with the all-seeing eye of Horus, it says Annuit Conceptus, or Annuit Septus, Coptus. I don't know how to read Latin, so don't sue me. It says he has favored our undertakings, and then the bottom says a new order of all ages. 1776, which is 888 plus 888. This is what this guy's seal has on it. So make no mistake, it is wicked. Okay? Wicked. Now, I just threw this one in here to show you guys something. This is just some random dude on the internet. But you know how they do the cross, right? The Catholics, they'll like kiss their fingers or hold their little rosaries, and they'll do the head and the chest and the shoulder. Well, I want you to see something. Because they touch the forehead, they touch the chest, and they touch their two shoulders. But I want you to see what the distance is here and what it makes. That's an upside down cross. Okay? So when they do this little forehead, heart, shoulder, what they're making an upside down cross, which is fitting because the God of the Catholic Church is Satan. Now, let me just briefly go through this one more time, because now that I've shown you all this stuff, let me just zip through this, because it's crazy, and I really want you to get it, because the numbers don't lie, and these are some of the craziest numbers I have ever seen in all my days of making videos. These numbers take the cake. All right, so Pope Francis died at 88. He opened the portal. He served from 2013 to 2025. 2 and 1 and 3 is 6. 2 and 2 and 5 is 9. 6, 9. Okay? The new Pope is 69 years old, and he is the 267th Pope. 2 plus 7 is 9, so we have 6 and 9. 6, 9, 6, 9, 6, 9. Okay? He was Pope from 3/13/13 to 4/21/25, which is 4,423 days. Okay, we know that 44 is Obama's number. He's the Antichrist spirit, and 23 is Satan. And if you take 44 and add that together, and 2 and 3 and add that together, you get 8 and 5, which is 58, which is the Antichrist spirit number, right? The rising of the Antichrist, which is also the date this Pope was selected. His name, or his Pope name, Pope, is 52, which could be 55, the numerical value for Satan, or 322, skull and bones. Leo is 32, which is 23, Satan. XIV 14 is 77. 7 and 7 is 14. 77 is also known as 711, 7 times 11. 711 is also 911. Septa, September, means 7, not 9. So these are equal. There's also 1.4 billion Catholics. 14, 14. Okay? XIV is also, it has the numerical value. If you do, like I do the numbers up here, X, I, and V equal 55, which is the numerical value for Satan. If you break this up, X represents the Antichrist spirit, which you can go see in the Seed of the Serpent video that I made. or a long time ago, why Twitter is called X now. That one also talks about it in a different light. Okay, but X is also 24, which is 888. And we all know what an IV is, right? Now, his true name is Robert, 78, which is 15, which is 555 and 666. In case you don't know why 555 equals 666, that is because 5 represents the Roman numeral V. V is in the Hebrew alphabet 6. Has a numerical value for 6. Same with W. Okay, so 555 is 666. Francis, which is his middle name and the name of the Pope who made him into a cardinal, is 70. 7 is 3 plus 2 plus 2. 322, skull and bones, same as Pope, right? So Robert Francis is 148. So you take his first name and his middle name, Robert Francis. It's 148, which is 58, which is the spirit of Antichrist. This is so crazy. His last name is Prevost. It has a numerical value of 55, which is Satan. He was born 9/14/55. 9 and 14 is 23, which represents Satan, in the year of 55, which represents Satan. He's 69. He's 267th Pope, which is also 69. He was voted in at 6 p.m. Vatican time, which is 1800 hours. 18 is 6 plus 6 plus 6. He was voted in on Thursday, okay? The 8th of May. 58, which is the Antichrist spirit number. Okay? Thursday is Thor's day, aka Horus. This tells us that they are bringing in the spirit of Horus. They are resurrecting Osiris as Horus. This is why they started on Wednesday and ended on Thursday. Pope Francis made him a cardinal on 9/30/2023. Okay? 3 9s is 999. Satan, 666. In the year of 23, Satan. If you take the date that the Pope Francis made him a cardinal, and you calculate that till the day he became a Pope, that's 587 days. This is the one that blew my mind the most. Okay? 587 days. Look at it. 587. When did he get elected? 587. Because the year 25, 5 and 2 is 7. So the days from him becoming cardinal to him becoming pope were 587, which is exactly when he became pope. Are you serious? This is nuts. So anyone who ever wants to tell you the numbers, oh, this is ridiculous, this is so dumb, yeah, that's because they're blind. Okay? That's because they're blind. The conclave started on 5/7/25. Okay? That's 5/7/57 or 237. That's the cage of the beast, right? 57, 23/7, 5G. This is the cage of the beast, represented in the human body as the rib cage. 2 false ribs, 3 floating ribs, 7 true ribs, 2, 3, 7. The carnal man, right? Whose God is his belly, trapped inside the rib cage, the 237. And this is the modern day rib cage, the matrix. All right. So now we go from 237. That's the day the conclave started. So it started at the cage of the beast. So what are they doing? They're freeing Osiris. They've gone into the cage of the beast and they're breaking him out through this 5G. And then he's resurrected the very next day on 5/8, which is the rise of the Antichrist spirit. Now, if you take 5/8 to the rest of the year, it's 237 days. 2, 3, 7. Here's the resurrected, the now alive Osiris as Horus, which is bananas because it's also 7 months and 23 days. 2, 3, 7. Now, Trump declares 5/8 the rise of the Antichrist spirit victory day, claiming it's because of World War II. But what it really is Stargate opening, right? Trump calls for, oh, that ain't it. Trump calls for Stargate, right? And what is Stargate? Well, this is the freeing of Osiris out of Chicago. And Trump declares it Victory Day. We've freed Osiris out of Chicago to come as Horus, as the spirit of Antichrist leaves Mystery Babylon and enters into the Catholic Church as the new Pope. And Egypt's Osiris has resurrected as Horus and is reborn. The spirit of Babylon has entered into the church. I hope you guys picked up everything I put down because this is absolutely insane. I mean, this is spiritual wickedness on such high levels. There's like numbers within the numbers. It's crazy. This is a dark, dark ritual that just took place, and people are cheering it on with shouts and praises.